Yeah, hi there. These comments are for SkyStar. This is Michael. I think you kind of have two different questions here that you're asking me at the VoxyPop group, and I'll see if I can kind of deal with each of those one at a time. So your first question is right now, when you're doing the practice test at my site, you're actually, before you record it for me, you work on it, you organize it, you revise it, you practice it a few times, and then you post it for me. And of course, on that last one, you got a perfect score, 30 out of 30. And your question is it okay to do this? Now, I'm going to say yes to an extent. I mean, sometimes in the beginning, when you're doing TOEFL speaking, you want to spend extra time to organize, develop, your ideas and practice them a few times and make sure your delivery is good, your vocabulary and your grammar, and everything is there that helps you get that score that you want when you take the test, right? But be careful. Eventually, at my website, you want to do the speaking practice test with only 15 seconds of preparation, just like the normal TOEFL will give you. That's your ultimate goal. So you're spending extra time organizing and thinking about how to organize your ideas, and if you keep doing that, eventually you will be able to do this in your mind and you won't have to write it down anymore. So I would say my advice is to you is after about 5 or 6 practice tests, in which case you are taking longer, you are revising them, you're practicing them several times. After 5 or 6, you want to get back to the TOEFL style, which means watch my video, get the question, 15 seconds later, record your response in my VoxyPop group, because that will give you, realistically, it will give you what your score is, right? So you do want to do that eventually. Now, your other question is the nervousness. You're saying that when you take the TOEFL, you get nervous and you're under the pressure. You're under the pressure of the test, and the speaking section comes at you very quickly, right? So you're also really asking me, how can I reduce my nervousness during the actual TOEFL IBTs? The main thing is you don't know exactly what the question is you're going to be asked when you take the TOEFL, right? So you have to be able to create and think of these ideas pretty quickly. You have to come up with these ideas very fast. So right now, you do what you've been doing. I mean, watch TV, listen to the radio, read magazines, read newspapers, keep working on your responses, your practice test responses, especially keep in your mind how you're organizing them. Now, what I'm saying is even though you get on the TOEFL or you're taking the TOEFL, and even though the independent speaking task you'll get is different, you're still going to organize them the same way you're doing now. So you already know what the template is, you just don't know what the question is. So the first thing you do on the TOEFL to avoid nervousness is, once you're ready and you get to the speaking section, as soon as you see the question, you want to write down maybe 2 key points during those 15 seconds. I would recommend that you jot down maybe 2 key words. And then those 2 key words you're going to put into the template that you've already memorized. You already know how to organize your ideas. You just need to come up with the two points. Now, you'll notice, SkyStar, at my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT, I do have a lesson. I think it's a TOEFL speaking lesson number 2. And in that video, it's about a 64-minute video going over the different strategies for answering the independent speaking task. And in part of the video, you actually will see topics. And I give you about 5 seconds to come up with some support points. Then you'll see another topic. You have to come up with support points again, right? So, for example, if I asked you, I may ask you a question like, what is your favorite movie and why? So, very quickly, you maybe put comedy. The first keyword reduces stress, and then second keyword, it makes you laugh. And that's it. So reducing stress, making you laugh. these are the two key points that you might use in that particular speech. So you have to be able to come up with those ideas. If you can do that, if you can come up with the 2 points, the 2 reasons, the 2 basic topics that you want to speak about, I think you shouldn't be too nervous, because you should be confident, because you know that you know how to organize the ideas. You just have to come up with those ideas initially and then be able to communicate those during the actual test. All right, anyway, thank you for your comments and your questions. I hope I've kind of gotten you going in the right direction there.